Good morning. It's 7:03 on this Monday, February 24th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. A rainy Monday, but we're glad to have you with us. And we're going to make a magnificent day out of a rainy Monday here, starting off with what we always do on Monday, talking about Absolute Kubota. And
you want me to do some filler while you continue looking for your piece of paper? It's a rainy morning out there. We need everybody to be careful. When you get out and get going, come on over to Absolute Kubota, 1325 West Main Street, and see us, and let's check out some lawnmowers and stuff. Now, Coleman's got his papers. He's going to do his little reading here.
I got to grab the wrong folder this morning. I had Absolute Rental instead of Absolute Kubota.
There you go. Now you're set.
Anyway, we've got Don Hamlet with us here this morning to help do the commercial. And we'll let him talk after we do our usual here, which is that we start every Monday morning off with a representative from Absolute Kubota. Absolute Kubota specializes in the sale of Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, and RTVs. They also carry Exmark mowers. Exmark is one of the top-selling zero-turn mowers in the country. And if you don't believe me, just ask Don. They're located in the same building as Absolute Rental and Supply, which specializes in tool and equipment rental. And again, we've got Don Hamlet with us today from Absolute Kubota, which this week is open Monday through Friday from 7 to 5, 7 to 4 on Saturdays. They're located at 1325 West Main in Lebanon behind Advanced Auto Parts. Just look for their big sign or the orange tractors. Phone number 615-449-6171. And the website is www.absolutekubota.com. You can also check them out on Facebook. And speaking of the time change, I alluded to it. I didn't really speak of it, but is it next Monday? Next Sunday?
The next 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks away.
So we've got one more Monday here with the sun about like it is today, and then we'll be an hour earlier.
Probably be dark at this time 2 weeks from today. But it'll be daylight when we all get off work, which we all like.
And I think we do. Which one do we like the most, or which one would we rather give up? Now, you can get an argument started there.
Probably could start a good argument there.
What you got for us?
Man, I just want everyone to know that, we appreciate everybody's business and coming in and seeing us. I really think spring's going to break a little bit early this year. Just want to remind everybody again, it's time to get those pre-emergents into the ground. Keep that crabgrass and stuff from coming up. Keep your yard looking green and healthy. We've got tons of mowers and everything. We're getting ready to get our showroom switched back over from what we kind of call our winter season setup. We've got a lot of tractors and RTVs pulled inside right now. One day this week when it's not raining like it is outside right now, me and Jonathan are going to probably pull about 45 lawnmowers in and get the showroom set up. We're getting all geared up for everybody. Just want everybody to know that we have Kubota and Exmark zero turns. Just urge everybody, before you make your purchase, swing by and give us an opportunity to try to earn your business. We want to get you in one of the red or orange mowers.
I'm interested in the way you're rearranging now. I've always heard that people, especially in sales, if you've got an object to sell and maybe a larger one like a truck or car or tractor or something like that it's good to just do some rearranging from time to time. But you do seasonal arrangements.
We do. We try to keep our yard. I think if you come in and you look at our outdoor, we call it an outdoor showroom. I think you're going to think it looks just like a car lot. Jonathan and I go out there. We try our hardest to keep everything lined up. All the buckets are turned the same way. We start with the smallest tractors and we work our way up to the biggest cab tractors. All of our implements are lined up in sequence of size and use. We try to make it where if you're looking for something, it's easy to follow through. When you come inside our indoor showroom, we're going to have all of our line trimmers, our grass trimmers, our backpack blowers. Everything's all lined up, really neat. We got your two-stroke oil, everything all set up. All your lawnmowers are going to be either Kubota on one side, of course, Exmark on the other. Mm-hmm. From the smallest series up through the largest commercial series, everything is marked with a price. Once you get past your price, we always, our first questions for people is normally how much property are you going to take care of? Mm-hmm. We don't need to get anybody into a 72-inch diesel lawnmower if you're trying to take care of 3/4 of an acre every week. So, we try to guide you into the right direction. We want to make sure that you're getting an adequate piece of equipment, but one that's not too big either. And then we'll start working with you and get you in on the 0% financing offers that we have going and everything. And we always are willing, to talk with people about other people's products. We try to stay as knowledgeable as we can, not only on our products, but all the other different colors that are being sold in Lebanon, so that we can describe to our customers what the differences and the benefits are of owning either a Kubota or an Exmark lawnmower. And one of those big benefits, or two of them, is the great parts department that we have. They have thousands and thousands of oil filters and blades and hydraulic filters and fluids and everything. And then we have a service department in back that I would put up against any service department in the whole country. I really have a lot of respect for those guys. They grind back there during the season. They get on things. They get it out quick. And to be honest, man, there are very few comebacks that, the problem wasn't diagnosed and correct properly. We've got a good bunch of guys there.
Parts and service.
Parts and service.
Very important.
Very important. I mean, you can go to what I call the big box store and get a lawnmower. But, next week, if you have an ignition switch problem, where do you go get it fixed at? To my knowledge, they don't have service departments or anything. Some of the Exmark lawnmowers are going to have up to a 5-year and 1,500-hour warranty. So, I mean, that's really big. I mean, even the smallest Exmark has a 4-year, 500-hour warranty. I mean, I think it's some of the best in the industry, and we're just there, and we're just trying to take care of everybody, and we just want everybody just to give us an opportunity.
Right. Well, Don, they would make such extensive warranties if the product wasn't good. They couldn't afford to.
I agree. They could not afford to. If the stuff wasn't going to be there to back their warranty up, they couldn't offer you a 5-year warranty.
So don't mean it won't happen, but it's going to happen less frequently.
All pieces of equipment in any industry are built upon components. Any single component of the whole entity could go bad at one time, but to know that, Lance and those guys in parts are going to have all of that stuff in stock, our service department really strives to get it in, get it turned around, and get it back to you as quick as possible. Whether you have 150 properties a week to take care of, or your wife is fussing at you about your one property that you have to take care of, we want to get you back out so you can take care of things as quick as you can.
All right. Will we not see you again till April?
I hope not. Maybe Jonathan will be here all of March, and I can, because whenever we do switch over, we will swap over our hours, and we'll start staying open 7 to 6.
Yeah.
So Jonathan and I, we swap the days, so we're not there that many hours. And so when we're open till 6 o'clock in the afternoon, when people get off work, come on in and see us.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Don Hamlet, and that's it for Absolute Kubota. We're about 11 and a half minutes after the hour, and State Representative Clark Boyd is here, and we're going to talk to the state legislature this morning, maybe among other things. I don't know. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and it's good to have you with us again. Been 2 weeks since we have seen you, but I guess probably a lot of things have happened. And one thing I want to mention this morning, I'm sure it's on your mind too, and that is something you did, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that you got in a wheelchair down at the legislature, at the request and suggestion of a younger fellow who was wanting to call attention to this. And you can tell the story a lot better than me, so pick it up if you would.
Absolutely, Coleman. So Alex Johnson is an 8th grader out at Friendship Christian School, and his dad, Nathan, is on staff there. And he had reached out to me last year and had mentioned that he would like to sponsor or have me host spend a day in my wheels, the wheelchair challenge. And so, for those of you that don't know who Alex is, he has a rare skeletal disorder, and so he spends most of his time in a wheelchair. And a few years back, he wanted to do Sherry's Run, and so he had Coach Armstrong from Friendship, the guy that runs 24 hours straight and hundreds of miles. He actually pushed Alex in a wheelchair. And then Alex trained up as well, and so they stopped 50 yards short of the finish line. And Alex got out of the wheelchair and walk the 50 yards. And I think that was probably the beginning of his activism, and he started Team Alex. And so he had been talking to me and to Jada for some time about doing this. And I told him, I think this would be a great thing to do. And so we put it together. And Tuesday of last week, and I picked Tuesday because unfortunately the Capitol itself, which we're in a lot of the other days, that was built back in the 1800s, it just really isn't wheelchair accessible. And so the Cordell Hull building where our offices are, I thought that would be a better place to do it. So we hosted it. I picked 10 legislators. I made it bipartisan. I didn't want it to just be a Republican thing, so some of my Democrat colleagues helped me out. And we spent a day in a wheelchair, and it was quite an experience. I'll tell you. And I know that usually when I get on here, you cut me off for a break. I don't know if we need to do that, and I need to tell you when we get back. Do we have time for me to keep going?
Oh, keep going.
Okay. So, learned a lot about life in a wheelchair, and I've got to tell you, I've never even been on crutches before. And so some of the things that I noted was, that a lot of the very heavy doors that are meant to close behind you when you walk through them, that is very convenient. It's very tough when you're in a wheelchair, trying to get it open and then hold it open with one hand while you try to roll yourself through with the other hand. And then it swings around and pushes you as you get through. It's leaning on the wheelchair. And so that was one of the things I noticed. Another one was the elevators. You can press a button for an elevator, and then it'll get there, and everybody goes running onto the elevator, and you start wheeling that way. And if they don't hold it for you, and several of my colleagues mentioned that they sat there at the elevator bank, and watched the elevators come and go, till they finally said, well, somebody please hold an elevator for me so I can get in there. And I didn't realize that. But probably one of the bigger things that I noticed, and I probably was paying attention to this because Alex had mentioned it before. He had wrote kind of a letter telling us some things to be conscious of. But he had always mentioned that when you're in a wheelchair, sometimes people don't talk to you or they overlook you. And so I rolled out in the hall and I went around and I visited with people. And, of course, all the staff and the legislators, they know who I am. And so it wasn't them. But a lot of the guests that were down there, and, of course, every day we have hundreds of people that are there visiting for a particular cause or industry. A lot of those folks, when I would wheel up to them or be with someone else, I noticed that they don't look at you. They see you're there, and then they'll talk to all the people standing. And you have to force yourself into a conversation with them. And I would have never thought about that before, but Alex mentioned that. He said, don't ignore people in a wheelchair. Don't just talk to the stand, and so everywhere I went, people, I don't even think people realize they do it. And so that was very eye-opening to me as well. But I will tell you, it was a huge success. The legislators that were in it, they met Alex. They just loved him. Every one of them got some one-on-one time with him. We did so what I did, I told everyone to spend a day in a wheelchair, and then I said, we will get back together at 4:30. And I knew that everyone was busy, and they probably, half of them would come at 4:30, half wouldn't. I said, that is where you're going to turn your wheelchair in at. So they had to come at 4:30. And Alex was there, and they got to spend some time with Alex. We all did a group picture. But 4:30 coincided with one of the subcommittees that feeds into my committee, and so I just sort of said we're going to run whatever bills need to be ran in that committee, and then we're going to go out of session and we're going to let Alex speak to the group. And so we used the committee room, which ironically was employee affairs, and that's one of the ones that we hear a lot of bills dealing with disabilities, and so. Alex, he spoke to the group, and it was really cool. And the news, Channel 5 News, I think, came out and did a story on it, and so it's been a big success. And it really, the big thing is we want to help Alex, give him a platform and help him raise awareness.
Well, no doubt it's something you're glad you did, and you learned from it as well as the other legislators.
Yes.
Okay. Clark Boyd, Representative Clark Boyd, is with us. A break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:19. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation and safety check. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Really heavy traffic out here this morning. Coming down 65 southbound. It all started earlier. We had some accidents coming down from the north there on 65 south. Now there's a crash out here at McGavick Pike at Music Valley Drive over in the Two Rivers community. Traffic's still busy there. Dickerson Pike at Gazar on that accident in East Nashville. Heavy traffic as well on 24 trying to get up through the Hickory Hollow area. You got all that traffic flow coming out of Rutherford County, even leaving Wilson County right now. So far so good. It's just busy through Mount Juliet. Hey, Nash Painting, serving families and businesses throughout Middle Tennessee. Call Nash Painting today. I promise you, they are the best. Call 615-85-PAINT. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I'm Sean McBride, and I'm a true Republican candidate for the position of Circuit Court Judge, asking for your vote and support. I have almost 34 years in relevant civil and criminal practice across the state of Tennessee. I want to set the record straight about the Circuit Court. It's not a part-time job, nor is it a criminal court. The facts are this court is, always has been, and will continue to be, predominantly a civil court. The vast majority of time spent in the courtroom is on civil cases. This judge may handle multiple criminal cases in a morning, but spend a week in a jury trial for a personal injury case. The numbers and types of cases should not be manipulated for political reasons or to hide the lack of experience. For a judicial position of this importance, experience is not taught, it's earned, and experience matters. Early voting is February the 12th through the 25th, and Election Day is March 3rd. Paid for by Team McBride, Bill Easley, Treasurer.
You see it in their smile, you read it in their reviews, and you hear it all over town. People love the way they're treated at Wilson County Motors. Honest, upfront pricing, top dollar on every trade, and one of the largest selections of new and pre-owned vehicles around. Wilson County Motors aims to exceed your expectations in every way possible. Get your Mitchell discount at Wilson County Motors in Lebanon, just 20 minutes east of the Nashville airport. WilsonCountyMotors.com.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
John Boyce here from the Scoreboard Show. For the first time ever, we will be extending the Scoreboard Show to include all of Wilson County High School and college basketball. Trent Perry and I will give you all the basketball scores from the county, as well as interviews from the coaches every Friday night from 9 to 11 right here on WANT FM 98.9. The Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Designers Carpet, Absolute Kubota, Kay Maynard with State Farm Insurance, Sheriff Robert Bryan and Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Dickey's Barbecue, and Southeast Motorsports.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Representative Clark Boyd for being with us this morning. We'll be on a wheelchair, but that's about it so far. What else has happened that we need to discuss this morning?
Well, a lot of the bills are starting to flow through committee now, so we're getting busy. And I was just looking at a few things. We've done some things already that we voted on the House floor, but one of the things that I thought may be of some interest that I've got coming by my committee this week. You know, a few years back, before I got in the legislature, in state Tennessee, they approved hemp oil. Mm-hmm. So it's basically cannabis oil that is kind of a TH-free version of the marijuana plant. It's kind of what hemp is, I guess, or a much lower version of it. And so that there's actually a hemp division of the Tennessee Department of Agriculture now. And when they legalized that, the problem I think that they've ran into a little bit is when they do drug tests now, it can sometimes throw off the drug test. And so my seatmate on the House floor is Dr. Brian Terry from Murfreesboro. He's an anesthesiologist. He chairs the health committee. And he has actually done an incredible amount of research on this. He's one of the most well-thought-out guys. When he runs a piece of legislation, he knows what he's talking about. He has said we've got to raise that benchmark a little bit. He said because we can't say that something is legal, but then at the state penalize employees that use the legal product because it throws off their. So he's wanting to raise the level the trigger point of a drug test of when the THC kicks in. And so I saw that on Thursday before I left, and I have instructed my research analyst and attorney to kind of look into that. And so we'll be talking about that today when I get into Nashville. But I don't have the exact numbers, but we'll probably hear that bill this week in one of the subcommittees.
Wondering what our law enforcement people will have to say about that.
I'm not sure. I think the general public and I guess law enforcement would agree with this. I think anytime you're moving the bar on the whole marijuana issue, it's alarming and draws attention. On this one, it's already been done several years ago. This one is just aligning our drug test for state employees to match that. Now, I will say that all the polling that I have seen, and I'm not. This is obviously one of those controversial topics that I don't have to get into because you didn't ask me, but I'm happy to tell you there seems to be support in Tennessee if it involves if it's a medicine, if there's something that you can do to help a person that's sick, and whether it be a capsule, some medicine that you get at the pharmacy, whether it be some sort of oil or something that you get, there seems to be pretty much a broad acceptance of that now, that we should be able to do that. Recreational, where you just smoke marijuana, that is still I feel like the majority of people are against that. Right. And all the polling I have seen and almost all the conversations I have with people, that's what they say. Even my papaw in East Tennessee, he was telling me, that he uses cannabis oil for something, some ailment that he's got, and he was just saying that it needs to be legal, or and then he says, but these people smoking it should be illegal. So I mean, I think from no matter what age group it is, everybody sees the potential for medicinal qualities. Now this bill has nothing to do with that. This is not anything dealing with medical marijuana. It's been unsuccessful in recent years, but I think that's the feel with most people. The feedback I get. There is, I don't know if you remember a few months ago, there was a murder in Nashville. There was a couple of guys that were trying to kind of be good Samaritans and protect a girl that was being assaulted or something, and they stood up for her, and the guy ended up stabbing him to death. And so in response to that, there's a piece of legislation, we call it the Good Samaritan Sentencing Act. And so if you attack someone, assault someone, or kill someone who is trying to function as a good Samaritan, then the sentencing goes up basically one level more. And it's to protect people that are trying to do the right thing, that are trying to protect people. And so that is something that I don't expect any opposition to that at all. Even our folks on judiciary seem to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. And that's just, if you're trying to help somebody and be a good Samaritan, and then someone commits a crime against you, we want to make sure that the law is stiff on those type of things.
What else you got going?
I've got a piece of legislation that I'm carrying, and it's really, I don't think there's a lot of opposition to it at all. It seems pretty much like a no-brainer. But out in some of the western states, like Oregon, California, some places like that, you've had some activist city councils that have basically banned the use of like propane, natural gas, things like that. They just say, we don't even care if it's underground right there. You're not passing ordinances that you can't connect to it. You can't hook up to it to use it to heat your home or for that matter, to generate electricity. And so that seems like a foreign concept to Tennesseans. But we are going to go ahead and pass some legislation that makes it clear that you can't do that. It sort of preemptively protects against that. So in Tennessee, if there is in the future, and like I said, that I don't know any city in the state that's proposing this right now. But if someone came along and they said, we're not going to let you use natural gas because it's evil or something, and a developer has built a subdivision or a utility provider needs it to produce electricity or you need it to heat your home or whatever, that they're not allowed to do that. They can't stop you from connecting to those utilities that are there. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like I said, that's sort of a no-brainer, but that's a piece of legislation that I'm carrying right now. It's moving forward.
And sort of to getting ahead of the curve here, a thing of prevention.
A thing of prevention, yeah. And so I've had, several people come and say, what does this do? Because it started off more as a caption bill, which means where we open up the code that we're going to need, but the amendment that comes really defines it. And so I had some people from several different, Tennessee Municipal League and some of the utility co-ops came, and once I explained to them what was going on, they said, "Yeah, you need that. That we probably need to do that. I appreciate you carrying it." So everyone's been very supportive of it.
Got a minute left. Can you?
A minute left. Let's see. We've got. Let's see. The brownfield tax credit. Some of these older commercial buildings that have been abandoned in rural Tennessee. We're going to be offering a tax credit to businesses that will go into those rural areas and take over a building like that and refurbish it and move an industry into it. And so I was actually surprised that there wasn't already something in place for that. But, the governor is very passionate about rural Tennessee. And if you get outside of Wilson County and travel to much of the surrounding counties, you see that. You recognize that, in the up until even the 1980s, that there were some businesses in these areas that have been gone for a while now. And so what this would do is just sort of utilize a building that's already there and give them a tax credit for doing it. Yeah.
Okay, we appreciate your visit. It's gone awfully quickly this morning, but we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Thank you. State Representative Clark Boyd. That's part one of Coleman and Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat. 1325 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still bumper to bumper out here in certain sections of town, like 65 South there at Trinity Lane, Briley Parkway on that ramp on I-24. We saw that wreck. Over in Two Rivers, they're still working that wreck with injuries. And McGavick Pike at Music Valley Drive. Again, that's not too far from Opry Mills Mall. Traffic still looking pretty good right now up through Brentwood, Franklin. It's moving, however, but it's heavy on 65 there going north. If you're buying or selling your home, call Keisha and Tony Tate at Exit Master Realty. Call 554-9795. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Someday you may wake up and think, I'm running out of time to do something about retirement. Waypoint Financial Partners can help you do something now that may provide a solid future for you and your family. Waypoint, your future, your way. For more information, call the Lebanon office of Waypoint Financial Partners at 615-444-6548. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Axter Advisors, LLC, 212-314-4600. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, I'm Javen Cripps, and I'm running to be your next circuit court judge. It's been an honor to serve you as an assistant district attorney for the last 13 years. For the last 5 years, I've spent most of my time in Macon County. Judge Wooten has served us well for 21 years and is now retired. I'm confident that I have the skills and experience necessary to fill the position. Serving as your circuit court judge would be my honor, and nobody will work harder to serve with honesty and integrity. I'm Javen Cripps, asking for your vote.
Paid for by the committee to elect Javen Cripps for Circuit Judge, Madeline Jennings, Treasurer.
Tackle all kinds of jobs around your place with a highly versatile Kubota L-Series tractor. They're comfortable, spacious, and easy to control with performance-matched implements. And a genuine Kubota diesel engine for years of reliable service. Right now, get a Kubota L-Series with a 6-year warranty, plus 0% APR financing for up to 60 months, and great customer instant rebates. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information. Stop by Absolute Kubota, AbsoluteKubota.com.
To get the work week going, highs today will be topping out near 60 degrees. Rain showers are likely today as well. For your Tuesday, there's only a slight chance of rain early Tuesday morning, otherwise skies will be partly cloudy. Highs on Tuesday will top out in the upper 50s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
On a Monday morning, we've got, of course, Bill Mellanax, General Manager for Rocky Williams, Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ramble Bound Unit, right here, all chomping at the bit to go and talk about no haggle pricing.
We're ready, Coleman.
Oh,
we're ready.
Everybody pays the same great low price, no haggle pricing at Rocky Williams, and that's become your trademark. It's even become your nickname.
My nickname. Yeah. I'll be out in town and somebody will say, no haggle.
Well, that means you've got their attention. They know you. They know
That's
what
exactly
you stand
right.
for.
That's right, Coleman. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to let people know about our no haggle way of doing business, our one price, where everybody does pay the same great low price, regardless of who you are. We had just Saturday had somebody that had called in on the phone that was wanting to buy 3 or 4 cars. They were all the same car, but wanting to buy 3 or 4 and wanting to know. Of course, our person that answered the phone had explained that we're a one-price store and that whether you buy the 3 or 4 or the 1, you get the same great low price. But this person had to talk to a manager and just knew that there would be a different answer when there was 3 or 4 vehicles involved. Of course, there wasn't, Coleman. you know that as well as I do at this point. And so they just hung up the phone. But that's what we do. And if, a lot of automotive dealerships or businesses would be very, may even change their method of doing business for that one transaction because of the number of sales. But we don't do that. Our price, we give our very best price right up front. And then we stick to that price, Coleman, to where we have integrity in what we do. And when we say it's one price, we mean that because if this gentleman who was obviously probably owned a business had been able to get a lower price, that's not fair to the 30 other people that were in the showroom on Saturday that didn't get a lower price.
Yeah, you're kind of put under, in a way, a little pressure there, I guess. But you've pretty much drawn that line in the sand, and
it's really not any pressure, Coleman.
Oh, okay.
It's really not. I mean, there's not. I don't have to think about it, or I don't have to talk to somebody. I don't have to. Let me see if I can make this work. There's never any of those discussions.
Okay.
It's not a hard thing. When you're honest and fair and transparent with people, and you say, hey, we've given you our very best price right up front. Everybody gets this price. If I buy it, I pay that price. That's as honest as you can ever be.
Well, to be honest here, if you deviated there, that wouldn't have been as low as you could go.
That's right. It would not be.
You would have gone lower for this person because he's buying in volume.
You're not a one-price dealer at that point. And a lot of people advertise their no haggle now. They've kind of caught on that works. But what I've been told by people that have both worked for them and dealt with them, that when it comes down to walking out the door, they'll lower the price.
Yeah.
And we don't do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is at Rocky Williams.
That's right.
And you have to make a believer out of it. Well, I hope this guy will come back.
Well, I hope so. Obviously, he was looking and had found us because it's a great price. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have called in the first place.
Well, you not only offer no haggle pricing and start out as low as you can go, but you also have service after the sale. You have a wonderful location, a wonderful facility. You've got really a lot of good things going for you and everybody and all your customers at Rocky Williams Premier.
Yes, we do, Coleman, and we've got a great website. We don't need to forget our website this morning.
The website is rockywilliams.com.
You might see your neighbor there, Coleman.
You know what? I almost forgot that today. But we just almost never forget to do that. But sometimes takes us to almost the end of the commercial.
That's right. That's okay.
That's all right.
We've got the whole time to do it, Coleman.
There you go. RockyWilliams.com. You might see your neighbor there, but you know you're going to see the entire inventory with the no haggle price, and that's what I like about it.
That's right. You don't have to try to get it or call to get it or email to get it. You get our very best price right up front and right there on our website.
All right. Anything else this morning? You are open, by the way. You're open Monday through Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 13 hours a day, 6 days a week.
13 hours a day, lots of time to come in and look. And most people do start their shopping online. We encourage that. We like for people to compare prices. We want to be their last stop.
There you go.
Not their first.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right. That is Billy Mullinax. That's it for Rocky Williams this morning. Rocky Williams Premier, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram of Mount Juliet. We're 21 before the hour on the Welcome County Mayor Randall Hutto. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Coleman. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. Good to have you today.
Glad
Can
to
I
be
start
here.
off with something? Because
You
I know
can.
you always come prepared and have more than we have time for. And I don't want about a minute here, but I just want to call attention to an article that was in last Saturday's Lebanon Democrat that Beth Petty wrote. I think you were really good friends with Beth Petty when you worked over to the special school district. And she wrote an article in here about Fred Anthony, Fred Burton, who is he's Fred Anthony when he's here on Saturday nights. And, of course, Fred Burton, member of the city council, but his mother was a school teacher back long ago in the 40s and 50s. And the story is really about her and how she taught her children and so on. She probably did a better job with the daughter and with Dr. Roderick than she did Fred. I don't know, but I'm kidding. But I hope people will read it. Maybe it'll be in the Post this Wednesday. I don't know. Congratulations to Beth on a fine article.
You know, I'm actually going to get to go see Miss Beth this morning and speak to the alternative school. She's lined me and Von Barr, our HR lady, up to come and speak. And so I will, if she didn't get a chance to listen this morning, I'll tell her how much it meant to you. And I know the whole town that got a chance to hear the history of it.
Really a good article and story about it. I'm sure it's all true, and she was a great lady, and I appreciate having the opportunity to read that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's a lot of sports going on. I got to watch the last minute and 30 seconds of the UT lady and the Vandy women. Did you get to watch it?
Mm-mm.
It was close, right down to the wire. Yeah, well, well, I'll move on then. The Wilson Central.
Well, Tennessee won.
Tennessee did win on that one, yes, sir. And but Tennessee men, well, they were ahead of Auburn and Bruce Pearl for a while, and he come back and got them, and so that didn't go our way. But Wilson Central Wildcats, their wrestling team really did well this time in the state, and proud of those folks as well as Ken Hammonds, our IT director, is an assistant coach there. So he got the chance to be a part of that, and so happy for him. Our Lebanon girls get to play in the finals tonight, exactly, against over at Wilson Central in the finals of the district tournament against Beach, and so we hope those ladies will do a good job. And then tomorrow night, Mount Juliet boys play Station Camp boys in the finals of the district there. So wish those teams well as they head into tournament season.
Well, excuse my ignorance, but what about the Lebanon boys? Will they get to the region, or are they done?
I think they're done.
Oh,
I'm not for sure.
Well,
Yes.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, they had a great year. Coach McDowell does a tremendous job with them. Had 3 seniors that they lost during the year, and that's tough to overcome. But still won almost 20 and just did a great job. But you know that some years you just you run against teams that hit the basket well at the right time and just don't work out for you. But wish all of them well though, and they've made us all proud throughout the year for sure. As we look at the activities, of course, you can watch tonight's commission meeting on Wilson County Television if you cannot be there, but we'll get to that in just a second. Just talk a little bit about what went on during the week. You got a question?
No, it was 189. Is that the channel?
198.
198.
198.
198.
Yes.
198.
And then AT&T 99, I think, and then of course it live streams as well on Twitch TV and. Teresa has to tell you all of that better than I can.
Teresa will get me for not knowing the right number, but we're going to say it several times. 198.
198. Did some proclamations this month. Proclamation of American Heart Association, of course, Black History Month, and the Breast Cancer Awareness Month that was there. Attended the Cumberland University's fundraiser where they retired Mitch Walters. As he retired, and just an icon there for as long as I can remember. And he talked back on the days that I had almost forgot about when I first started at Lebanon. Cumberland men played at Lebanon High School. and Mitch would bring the men's basketball team over there, and they would play at our place at the very beginning. So I forgot about that, but it was good to see him and for them to honor him in that way. Got a chance to do the polar plunge. Still as cold as it always was, and don't look forward to that.
You jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
You're a brave soul.
Well, I didn't jump in. I walked all the way to the back and then climbed out, but it was still hard. I think jumping in may be better. I'm going to try that next year. Did walk across Wilson, and Ray Render with Congressman Rowe's office kind of helped develop that a little bit different this time, where we actually walked all the way across Wilson, and me and Sheriff Bryan finished up the last mile here. So that was a fun day. Had the first reception that we've had before, the County Mayors Association and legislatures down in Nashville, to where we actually met with our legislative group down there at a reception. Mayor Anderson from Williamson County put that on, but that was exciting to go down there and to talk to them about what's going on, and they see us as a united body, and I think that's a positive thing. Then we had a regional luncheon here with Mike Harrison that does the County Mayors Association group. He brought in some region mayors that we don't normally get to meet with here at Five Oaks. Normally we meet with the Middle Tennessee mayors, but with this we kind of encompassed Upper Cumberland as well. And so it was good to see those folks and talk about issues that we all share and maybe problem solving that we could do. Had a chance to go to the flag folding that they had at the Veterans Office, and had not done that before. As Marina C, of course, our Veteran Service Officer worked on that along with Uncle Pete and many others, but where they take all the old flags that have been donated to, that need to be retired, and you got to fold them first before you can destroy them at a ceremony that normally Ken Cackley has out at Cedar Forest. And so pretty neat to see that. Hadn't done that before. Spoke to the Mountain View Republican Women's group down at Tremont. They had there from Miss Gwen Queener back about 3 Sundays ago, and had a good group for that. Spoke to Leadership Wilson group from Miss Dory Mitchell. And then Jeff Peterson has been working with grabbing all the industrial leaders, CEOs together as we work towards Wilson Works initiative that Melanie Mentor is working through the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber on, as far as putting a liaison together between industry and education to make our workforce better. We were a part of Sonny Perdue's production of the USDA Reconnect grant presentation, where $9 million was awarded for Tennessee. Actually, 5 counties, us, Murray County, Williamson County, Rutherford County, 4 counties, got $3.3 million of that, to where it's going to bring rural broadband service to our rural parts of the area, not only the houses, but also businesses there. And so when we get more details on that, we'll bring those to you. Had a chance to go to Mountain View Economic Development. We do that once a month at Mark Hinsley's place down there, which is always an informative time to see what's going on in their world, which is also a large part of our county. Had a chance to go to the Lebanon Senior Citizens Banquet, Valentine's Banquet over at DeMille. Miss Teresa and Patty put on and had a good time. I think you were there.
I was there, and terrific Teresa sang Rocky Top, and all you got out there and danced.
That's a ritual that's going to happen every time. Then the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber Banquet out at the Expo, large crowd, a great production again put on by Melanie there. Spoke to many groups about the sales tax referendum that's coming up here, and to try to do our best to educate the public on that. That kind of concludes this part. If you want to take a break, I will remind everybody that the last Wednesday of each month that we are at the chamber offices. We start at Mountain Jude in the morning at 8:30, and anybody can show up. We'll talk about whatever issues you want to talk about, and then we go to Watertown at the depot at 11:30, and then we're back to Lebanon Chamber at 1:30. So if you're ever out there and have an issue, want to talk about anything, show up at the chamber the last Wednesday of each month, depending on what city you're in. And be glad to talk to you.
All right, and if we go to a break right here, but today's 24th, I believe. Tomorrow is the last day to early vote.
Yes, sir.
And then next Tuesday, it will be Election Day. And the sales tax referendum is there. You vote for or against, yes or no. Okay, take a break. This is Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:48. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental, fully staffed service center and parts department. Most of their minor services can be done the same day. Servicing Exmark, Kubota, Land Pride, Red Max, and Billy Goat, 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. There's still quite a bit going on out here as far as accidents as they still work that wreck with injuries over in Two Rivers, McGavick Pike at Music Valley Drive. 40 westbound, just between Fessler's and the Hermitage exit on 40 westbound. There's an accident. They're trying to clear that quickly because it's so heavy now, trying to get in through Hermitage, Donaldson right now on I-40 going west. Still looking pretty good coming out of Mount Juliet there, Wilson County on 40 west. The Music City Irish Fest in Nashville kicks off March 14th. Check it out, MusicCityIrishFest.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Do you know why Rocky Williams Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Mount Juliet sells so many cars, trucks, SUVs, and muscle cars? Well, it all starts with a simple idea. Why not give everyone a hassle-free shopping experience for their new or used vehicle with no haggling, no negotiating, and no runaround? Every vehicle on the Rocky Williams lot is marked down incredibly low with the price posted on the window. You're treated with fairness and respect every time. No pressure, just a friendly, warm, inviting staff dedicated to finding the exact vehicle you need. So Rocky Williams Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram has become the original no-haggle, one-price dealer. Go online to RockyWilliams.com to see the incredible deals yourself. Every car and truck is listed with a no-haggle low price. This is for real, and you're gonna love it. People drive for miles to get some of the lowest prices in America on their new or used cars or trucks. Go to RockyWilliams.com or come on over to our brand new spacious dealership next to Walmart in Mount Juliet.
Cumberland University Baseball is live this season on WANT and WCOR. Tune in for all of the home games and all of the Mid-South Conference matchups with Coach Woody Hunt's three-time champion Cumberland Phoenix baseball team. Mitch Walters brings you all of the action on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490. For a complete schedule, visit GoCumberlandAthletics.com. It's live Cumberland University Baseball on WANT and WCOR. Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medore Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
I'm Sean McBride, and I'm a true Republican candidate for the position of Circuit Court Judge, asking for your vote and support. I have almost 34 years in relevant civil and criminal practice across the state of Tennessee. I want to set the record straight about the Circuit Court. It's not a part-time job, nor is it a criminal court. The facts are this court is, always has been, and will continue to be, predominantly a civil court. The vast majority of time spent in the courtroom is on civil cases. This judge may handle multiple criminal cases in a morning, but spend a week in a jury trial for a personal injury case. The numbers and types of cases should not be manipulated for political reasons or to hide the lack of experience. For a judicial position of this importance, experience is not taught, it's earned, and experience matters. Early voting is February the 12th through the 25th, and Election Day is March 3rd. Paid for by Team McBride, Bill Easley, Treasurer.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here on what has turned out to be a rainy Monday morning. County Mayor Randall is here, and I don't talk a lot because he's got so much to offer, and you're still doing strong. So,
all right, well,
hey, take it back over.
All right, I'll probably finish up early this month, and you can talk to me. We can talk about what you want to talk about. There's been a lot of stuff going on with the county commission, as always, during the month. I just told you the activities that kind of work through our office. That's not all of them, but that's pretty much a lot of the highlights that we have. We did, Miss Amy Nichols left us as a tourism director, and we hired Mr. Jason Johnson as a tourism director now. And so hopefully Jason will get a chance to come out and visit with you and talk about his thoughts. He's been running full steam ever since he hit the ground with us. Miss Charity Toombs, of course, has resigned as the Expo director, marketing director, and taken another job. And so her last day was actually Friday. So our hiring process had already started. We put it out for 4 weeks, I believe, 3 or 4 weeks, and it actually ended on Friday. So we'll work on that process of narrowing down and finding somebody to take her place. We're closing down on purchasing the Fred's building, which is behind the courthouse there, and that we've been through the process. The county commission has approved the the purchase of it. And then tonight we'll talk about how we're going to fund it with what different routes. And I'll go over that in just a minute with the resolutions. But as we if that continues to go on like they on their wishes are right now, then we will take the old Fred's building and we'll turn it into the election commission on one side, which will allow them to put everything all under one roof there. And then the other side will be for court document storage, which those documents that have to be stored there, and they're kind of spread out now all over the place, and so we'll bring them all under one roof. We do have some people renting places, so that will cut that run out and save us some money on that side as well. So we'll get that underway. Robert Bain is working on that, our director of operations, and hopefully we'll have them in there maybe before the next election. So the next election you may vote there. Many people have said, well, what will you do with the old election commission office? We're going to move tourism down there. They've been off the street, kind of in the back at the old health department. Mm-hmm. So we're going to move them down there on the street. We think that'll be good. Of course, it brings them in close proximity with us again on Main Street there. And, of course, that's an historic building that we'd love to keep, alive and going. And so they'll use it for maybe some other things as well in there. We did purchase the Green Hill Women's Club, which is down there right next to the Mount Juliet ball fields, and that would be for Jim Goodall's expansion, really. He has been in a building behind Mount Juliet City Hall. They've just really grown out of that right now, and so we purchased that building. That should also hopefully close this month as well, and we'll get him in there before long to make their world a little bit better in that area. I will be doing a presentation in the next 3 months, the last Tuesday of each month, starting tomorrow, actually. It's going to be at the arcade, or the venue they call it. Lebanon Chamber has asked me to do this, and so I'm going to talk on 3 different topics. It's going to be a short breakfast from 7:30 to 8:30 at the venue or the arcade. And the first one will be, why is Wilson County the best county in the state of Tennessee, will be what will be tomorrow's talk. And then in March, the last Tuesday there will be what are the hot topics that are facing Wilson County in 2020. And we'll cover the financial side, the economic development side, growth, transportation, and trash. All of those are pretty big issues with us, and so we'll kind of drill down on those. And then in April, we'll talk about what does Wilson County look like in 2020. So those are going to be the last Tuesday of the month, 7:30. You can talk to the chamber about that. We'll be in the arcade. Talking about tonight's commission. Yes, sir.
7:30 in the morning?
7:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Well, it knocks me out, but I just...
with a light breakfast, yes. Well, and I hate that, but Melanie chose that. And I think, a lot of times when we do this Day of the County, there's so much material to cover that we felt like it might be good to break it up over 3 different times where you can actually drill down and talk about some specifics. And then also people that want to ask questions, they can say, well, let's talk about this and there is so many things out there in county government that, sometimes people, I'll read them on Facebook, for example, and they're going in a direction and they know what they know. And, of course, it's a day job for me. And so we do get to drill down and find out the details. And we would love to talk more about that. We don't really have anything to hide at all and try to do the best job that we can, just like everybody else does with their job. And so it is good for us to talk about it. And then, of course, as many times, and I was telling you earlier that a lot of times if I see some stuff, maybe on Facebook and, I don't normally respond there, but we will reach out to the individual and say, hey, can you come in and talk to us for a while? And, and just answer some questions. A lot of times we'll learn as much as they will learn as we talk to citizens about their thoughts, their views, and what's going on. And that part is good as well. Talking about the commission meeting tonight, Commissioner Chris Dow will have the prayer and the pledge. We will appoint Mr. Gene Jones for the Gladeville Utility District to finish out the term of the late Mr. Eddie McQuarrie's position there. There'll be a resolution to purchase the Fred's building, as we talked about. They've already approved to purchase it. Now, how do we purchase it? And we're going to do a 6-year capital outlay note. And that first one will be for $1.239 million. Now that is $875,000 is what we actually got the building for. We need $364,000 to do the renovation part. So we'll do it on a 6-year capital outlay note to make that purchase. The next resolution will be to purchase and do the renovations of the Green Hill building, and that will be $330,000, which $150,000 of that will go towards the purchase, and the rest of it will go towards the renovations of that. And then there's a resolution in there for the actual renovations of the Fred building, which is already really included in the first resolution, but you got to approve the renovations, which is a $364,000 there. So it's already included in the first one, but we still have to go through that process as well on moving the money. Then there's a resolution to move some money out of education, out of some line items they have to other line items to cover the personnel costs of Green Hill High School that's getting started. So they got the principal on board and some other people working. So you got to pay them. So they're moving those lines to make that happen. We do have a resolution asking the Tennessee General Assembly to amend legislation to exempt Wilson County from the Register of Deeds filing and registration fees. And Ms. Jackie Murphy has kind of worked hard at that, and we just kind of letting our legislatures know that, hey, this is what we'd like to have happen to exempt us from charging our people a fee to come in to work that there's having to be done now to do their Register of Deeds recording. And then the last one there is a resolution allowing us to enter into another home grant. You know, Jim won the last home grant that he got was $500,000 to help seniors stay in their home, you know, by fixing roofs and different things there. And so Jim has asked for another one, and I think hopefully he gets that, and we get to administer that and help other people to stay in their homes for as long as they can. And pretty much that's it.
And we've got a minute left. You're talking about educating people about on the sales tax referendum.
Yes,
sir. And again, you've got today and tomorrow to early vote, and you got next Tuesday, the 3rd of March, election day, if you don't make it today or tomorrow. But that is on the ballot, and you either vote to increase the sales tax, and that is earmarked for teacher raises, as I understand it, at least the portion the schools get or whatever. It's a little bit convoluted, but it's not that much. It's not that difficult to understand. You either for or against it. And a lot of people, of course, are saying this would be better than having an increase in the property tax, and we do have to fund government from somewhere. So it's up to the people here.
It is, and that was the whole idea behind it in the beginning. The Board of Education has asked the County Commission the last couple of years about trying to get teacher pay very competitive with the neighboring counties so that we can obtain and retain the best educators possible here. So this time the Commission said, hey, let's let the people have a voice in this and let them say, how do we want to fund that if we want to fund it? And so they put it out. And you're right, it's 925 to 975. What gets convoluted is that really only 225 of that comes to us. 7% goes to the state.
Right.
And that 225 to 275 is exactly what we're talking about. Half of it by law goes to education. The other half goes to the city it was created in. So it will give Lebanon $2.8 million, Mount Juliet $2.3 million, Watertown $44,000, and the county $465,000 of sales tax that are collected out in the county. The $465 for us is actually designated to go to school education.